G'day everyone, my name's Isaac and welcome to the round 3 of the Adrenaline GT GT3 Championship here at Monza today for Lobby C. It's fairly overcast and we're set for a cracking race, 16 laps around the Temple of Speed. Let's jump into the grid order now. So Porsche GT lines up on pole, a 48 for him, only car in the 48s in this qualifying session. Maguki is second, Alba third, B. McKever in 4th, Unchained Chief 5th, Stiffy Bone 6th, BC Bond 7th, and Macon Bacon down the back in 8th. X Tanner is also racing in this one, but did miss qualifying, so he will start from the back. Before this race started, though, unfortunately we had a disconnect for B. McKever, so he won't take part in this one. So only 8 cars at the start of this one taking part in the race. Quick look at the track stats for you. We've got 5.7 Ks of racing around here at Monza, 11 turns, including a 1.1 kilometre front straight, so plenty of opportunity. The mandatory hard tyre this week with I think pretty much all of our runners besides 2 starting on the hard tyre, only Maguki and Unchained Chief starting on that soft tyre. So a lot of people taking their pain early, getting the hard tyre running out of the way. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, what unfolds in this one. We're going to jump into it now. Let's take you into all the action. Alright, here we go then. Getting ready to go. Coming towards the start line. Lights are out and away we go. Porsche GT leads us away down towards turn 1. Fairly clean start for everybody so far. And they all look fairly clean coming down towards the first corner. Nice wide shot of them all going into turn 1. Beautiful move there. I think that was Alba defending from, was that someone defending, that might have been BC Bond defending from Stiffy Bone early in this. So a little bit of side-to-side contact, but clean so far. X Tanner up spot on Macon Bacon as well. And everyone just sort of finding their rhythm now, getting into their rhythm. No Ben this week, it was his birthday, so happy birthday to Ben. I hope to see you back in the commentary box next week. X Tanner up a 3rd spot now. Unchained Chief falling down the order, down to 8th place. So Unchained Chief on the soft tyres, not the best start for him. We wanted to make use of that soft tyre at the start of this one. Maguki in the BMW, missed out on last week's race, is back this week for this race, missed out on Fuji, but he's on the soft tyre chasing after Porsche GT now. It's fairly close between these guys already. Very nice livery on the BMW there. Only one of, I believe it's one of possibly 3 BMWs. Yes, Alba and the other BMW getting a little bit loose on the exit of Ascari there, and losing the place to Stiffy Bone. So close battles here early on. Here we go. Maguki having a look at Porsche GT. Obviously on the faster tyre, Porsche GT won't want to yield this lead to Maguki. Won't want to give it up. There we go, down the front straight. What can he do? Looks to the inside. Beautifully side by side down the front straight. Here we go towards turn 1. This looks like it's going to be close. I think Maguki might have him here. No, Porsche GT just breaks that a little bit later. Maguki pulls it up and Porsche GT will hold on to that lead for now. As the battle pack behind also just sort of file in. As we come down towards the turn 3 chicane. X Tanner back down to last now as well. So a bit of a battle pack going on throughout the field. We've got this battle pack, we've got the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th, and then 6th, 7th and 8th. So a few less cars, only half, almost just over half the size of lobbies A and B. Lobby C is this week, but still a great turnout in numbers, and a fairly Porsche and BMW dominated lobby this is. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars in the 4 or 5 cars in the Porsche, and then 2 cars in the BMW, 1 in a Jag. So is it a Jag or no? It's Aston Martin. Sorry. And here we go. Maguki looking at Porsche GT, looking to go up the inside. Can't make it stick. Oh, I guess a little bit loose there. Oh, he manages to catch it. That's beautiful car control from Maguki there. Got on the grass. Car was a little bit loose, then hit the curb. car was even more loose and just managed to keep it together, keep the car going in the right direction. So brilliant car control, but that's just allowed Porsche GT to build a bit of a gap and get away. And here we go, Alba and Stiffy Bone side by side. Alba looking to go around the outside. Beautiful move on Stiffy Bone. And Stiffy Bone in that lovely presented Dunlop Porsche. One or two yellow Porsches in this lobby this week. Both these guys on the hard tyres, so these guys taking their pain early. Maguki and Unchained Chief, who's now back over to 5th, the only cars to start this one on the soft tyre. So here we go, Stiffy Bone. He's going to have a look on the inside on Alba. No, Alba just holds around the outside. Beautiful racing between these guys. One's a little bit deep. Stiffy Bone gets on the gravel, and Unchained Chief just follows him. So they're going to drop off the back of Alba in this one. Got a little bit wide, but Alba now all the way up on the back of Maguki, who's struggling to control this BMW at the moment. He's struggling for grip, and Alba's going to take advantage of that and have a look up the inside maybe? No. Oh, runs wide. He took too much speed in that exit, runs wide, gets himself in the gravel, and that's going to give second place to Alba. And a half-second penalty for Stiffy Bone for track limits as well. So a lot happening in this one. This has been great for Porsche GT as Maguki just Formula drifts his way in through the first Lesmo. Passing on of Stiffy Bone. Fairly quiet at the back at the moment. BC Bond all the way down the back now. And Unchained Chief unfortunately has disconnected. So another DNF in this one, unfortunately due to a disconnection. So disappointing for him. He was all the way back up into 5th and was performing quite strongly. So that'll be disappointing for him. These guys just got to find themselves in a rhythm now. Get themselves in a into a rhythm. There's a lot of on-track battles happening at the moment. Half-second penalty for Porsche GT as well for track limits. One for Maguki as well. So this is great for Alba, who has been overtaken by Maguki. So this is where the battle is. So we'll stay with this for a bit because it seems that the battle is in fact here. Stiffy Bone also just behind, wanting to invite himself into this one. So Maguki battling it out with his fellow BMW driver Alba. So the podium places are going off at the moment. This is where the battle is. We're going to stay with this one. Wonderful driving. Let's take you on board with Alba now as he hunts down Maguki. Let's take you on board for a lap of the Temple of Speed here at Monza. Go. This battle's starting to get good between these guys, side by side, down the front straight. That was lovely on board for that move that Alba made after Maguki unfortunately had that half-second slowdown penalty. And they just keep it civilized for now, which is good to see. They are racing each other hard, which is always wonderful. We've got two cars in, so BC Bond, X10, they're in for their stops, both on the hard tyres going to the soft tyres. So an early switch to softs for these guys, Fuel going in. Lap 5. Obviously, remember, they've got to get to the end, so they will go all the way up. Full of fuel. BC Bond is out. He's quite clear of X-Tanner. Sorry, he's had a microphone disconnect there. Unchained Sheet does have the fastest lap of the race. Obviously, unfortunately disconnected, but did set the fastest lap of the race before he left at this stage. So, 2 cars have stopped now, and they'll be looking to undercut these guys in 5th and 4th, or 4th and 5th. So, Sticky Bone and Macon Bacon, they'll be looking to get the undercut on them. But remember, these guys are still also on the soft tyres. Only 1 car now that yet stopped that is still on the soft tyre, and that is Wiguki, but he is struggling to get away from Alba here. So a lot of pace in the BMW of Alba. Meanwhile, Porsche GT just out in front, breaking away and running away with this one. Has a lovely gap to Wiguki and Alba behind. So just getting away now from the pack. Obviously was in Lobby B last week, has come down to Lobby C this week, and is proving that he does have the pace to be up in the higher lobbies. So we'll have to see where he ends up in the overall results and if he can keep it together. But he does have the fastest lap of the race now at 50.2. So very quick in that Porsche. Quickest on track at the moment. And Wiguki now pulling a little bit of a gap to Alba. So these guys still going tit for tat in terms of position. But I think Wiguki just has to try and get a clean run here. Just run cleanly all the way to the end. If he can do that, I think he'll set himself up. It's this chicane where he struggles every time, just runs wide yet again. And Stiffy Bone working behind as well, waiting for someone to make a mistake and invite himself into this party. So lap 6 now, a little bit loose there from Wiguki. But Alba, Stiffy Bone and Macon Bacon all on the hard tyres and yet to stop. So how much longer will they stay out for before they come in? Same with Porsche GT, he's also on the hards yet to stop. Wiguki, only car on the softs. Soft tyre runner, you would expect, will run long into this race, whereas the hard tyre runners will look to stop within the next lap or so to get onto the soft tyres. So beautiful running at the moment here with these guys. 2 guys down the back, just sort of spread out from each other a little bit, BC Bond and X-Tanner. So just have their gaps at the moment. Everyone's just got their own little bit of racetrack all to themselves, not much happening. Means that it's hard for me to find things to talk about because we haven't got a lot happening on track as Alba stays out for another lap on these hard tyres. Stiffy Bone also elects to stay out for another lap on these tyres. What will Macon Bacon choose to do? Will he choose to try and undercut these guys ahead, or will he stay out? Let's see. No, he also chooses to stay out. Let's check in with your race leader. This is Porsche GT. Let's go on board for a lap of Monza. This will be the 2nd lap we've done today. Let's go on board with your race leader for a lap of Temple of Speed. absolutely wonderful. A lot of pace in that car. A 50.7 on that last lap for him. McGucci currently has the fastest lap of the race on the soft tyres, as you would expect being on the softs, with a 49. He's at a 49.6. So, and he's just done that on the previous lap. So he is now trying to hunt up to Porsche GT. There is a fair gap between him and Porsche, who is going through the first Lesmo at the moment. But he started to figure out this chicane, McGucci, this turn 3 chicane, and started to clean it up. But there is, a fair gap between him and the car behind. Alba with a half-second penalty, but running fairly on his own. Stiffy Bone also running out on his own, making Bacon on his own as well. And the two guys that have stopped, BC Bond and X-Tanner. So they're just running in clean track, pushing as hard as they can to try and catch these guys in front to maybe undercut them. But they're going for the long undercut here, because I'm actually surprised that the guys like Bacon, Stiffy Bone, Alba and Porsche GT, they're staying out as long as they are on these hard tyres. Obviously, maybe not as much of a threat of an undercut, given the gaps that they've got to the cars behind them. But with cars like BC Bond and X-Tanner, they've got a lot of pace, those guys. They aren't slow guys, they are quick drivers. And it's just surprising that they haven't yet decided to come in and change tyres to avoid too much of an undercut. But there we go, so halfway through this race now, that is the halfway point. We're on to lap 9 of 16 now, so the second half is kicking off. Porsche GT still in the lead, McGucci second, there we go. Alba is in, so the first of our front runners on those hard tyres to blink has come in. Stiffy Bone's going to follow him. Will Bacon come in, or will he stay out as well? Let's find out. Where are... Bacon's going to stay out. BC Bond just come through the Parabolica, so not Parabolica, coming down towards Parabolica, come through Ascari, and that is Alba done. He's onto the soft tyre, so he is well clear of those cars behind. Stiffy Bone, is it going to be the same story? Yes, it is, so he is well clear. They haven't even made it to the Parabolica yet, just coming into the Parabolica now for BC Bond and X-Tanner, so a fair gap to these guys will have, and just have their own racetrack, but they're on the faster tyres now as well. So that undercut hasn't paid off for BC Bond and for X-Tanner in the way that they would have liked, unfortunately. But if they can keep clear, they can keep running, they can keep clean, they probably are a chance of catching Bacon. So we'll see how that unfolds for them throughout this one. These guys also keep in mind, they're now on the same tyre compound as McGucci, but 9 laps newer. So they've got 9 laps newer tyres on the same tyres as McGucci. So maybe they can use that to their advantage, put the foot down and try and set some faster laps to catch and maybe hopefully undercut him. But Alba coming up to the back of Bacon now. Very different compounds. 9 lap old hards versus very fresh softs. And there we go. So our race leader is in. That is Porsche GT into the pit lane. Only 14 litres of fuel left on board in that car at the end of that stint. So very fuel hungry, the Porsche. McGucci will inherit the race lead. Fuel going in for Porsche GT. So he's going to come out well clear of Alba in this case. And fuel going in, probably putting in more than he needs to make sure that he gets to the end. A lot more than he needs to make sure he gets to the end, but he is done. Fuel is in and he is out. Is this going to be Bacon coming in? Yes, it is. So Bacon is in. We're going to stay on board with him here. We're going to follow this pit stop. We want to see how this unfolds, because as you can see, BC Bond and X-Tanner are just about to come through the Parabolica now. So they're coming through the final corner. Tyres are going on for Bacon. Fuel going in. He's probably just about 50% of fuel. It's probably a little bit too much fuel, but here we go. So he's coming out. Where is BC Bond? Here he is. There is Bacon. And he's just got out in front. So he's just in front of these guys behind. So brilliant from him. And there he is. BC Bond is right there on older tyres, but up to temperature tyres, and you can see Bacon just struggling for grip out of the first chicane. BC Bond, who is on warm tyres, has the grip on and the traction, and is just going to look up the inside in a beautiful move to find himself in 5th place. Bacon, he isn't done with it yet. He's going to have another look at the inside, but backs out of it, thinks better of it, pulls in behind. And finally, we get some racing on track. So that is BC Bond up into 5th place on a beautiful move from Macon Bacon. And now X-Tanner is going to have his work cut out for him trying to catch Macon Bacon as well. So can Macon Bacon stick with BC Bond in front? Looks like BC Bond might have a little bit of a pace advantage here. But X-Tanner, we know he does have the pace. He was strong last week at Fuji. A very solid performance. And he'll be looking to put the moves on Macon Bacon here to get himself up into the 6th place and go and fight for 5th in this one to find himself in the top 5. Remember, these guys are fighting for not just results in this lobby, but the overall results for the round, which, remember, are combined with lobbies A and B. So they want to work together to make sure they get the best result they can. Here we go. X-Tanner, he's up the inside of Macon Bacon, down towards the Parabolica. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can. Beautiful move from him. Absolutely wonderful. Great move, and that finds Macon Bacon now in 7th place. X-Tanner, he is going to now try and set after BC Bond. He's been slowly catching him. The gap has gotten smaller and smaller every couple laps between BC Bond and X-Tanner. So he's going to be hunting him down to try and catch him. But hopefully he can do it. It's there's a lot of pace in that Porsche at the moment, and you can see the gap has again closed up just a little bit. Maguki still running around on those soft tyres. Now 11 laps old, not a lot of tyre wear around here, and that's his gap to Porsche GT, so probably not enough for a pit stop. Whether Alba has enough for a pit stop, 1 second slowdown penalty for him. Whether Alba's close enough for a pit stop, as he does the fastest sector. He has got the fastest start of the race with a 49.2, and Maguki currently lapping in the 50s, so considerably slower. 1 second slowdown penalty for Alba. Here we go. He's going to serve that now, which is unfortunate for him. Stiffy Bone coming through Ascari now as well in the 50s. So whether he can catch Maguki or not, we will wait and see. And here we go, X-Tanner, he's a lot closer to BC Bond now. He has found some pace in that 98.666 Racing Porsche. And he's pushing hard to catch up to the back of BC Bond and fight for that top 5 finish. It'll be a wonderful result for him after, again, missing qualifying this week, not being able to qualify. Started from the back. And I heard a bit of tyre wheel in the background. That is BC Bond. He got loose. He got loose through the Parabolica and just obviously spun, tried to correct it, went onto the inside of the track, and he's just handed the position to X-Tanner. So that's now 5th place for X-Tanner. BC Bond finds himself in 6th. And that is, everyone sort of spread out now. A half second slowdown penalty for our race leader. Let's remember, he is yet to stop in the BMW. But yeah, that's just everyone sort of back out into their own little bit of racetrack yet again. Everybody's spread out. Everybody's got their own piece of real estate. You can see coming through towards turn 3 on the track map. X-Tanner, BC Bond, and Unchained Chief kind of close together, but not close enough that anyone can really go for a move at this stage. We will keep an eye on it though. But I get a feeling that they may start to spread out yet again. Here we go, a little bit loose through Parabolica for Maguki. Will he come in this lap? I think he's going to. So yes, so he is in. So he's going to lose position to Porsche GT. That is a given. Will he lose a position to Alba and to Stiffy Bone? That is what we are wondering now, where he will come out. So fuel going in. He goes coming out the pit lane. So that is Alba in front of him. And he's got a fair gap to Stiffy Bone. So he finds himself in 3rd at the moment. With 3 laps to go. Oh, and he's just found himself getting tripped up on the exit of turn 1, trying to go through the chicane. And it's sort of worked out okay for him. He hasn't lost too much time. But but he's on cold tyres, so he probably just wants to take this a little bit easy. I do apologise if the commentary's been a little bit lackluster in this episode, this race. It's a bit strange, doing this on my own, even though I did it at the start. It's a bit strange doing it on my own, but it's also a bit strange doing it on my own, doing it by myself, with very little action. And you know, these guys are really quick, they're really talented, but just sort of, you know, spreading out, finding their own bit of racetrack, finding their own ground, and just running their own race. So yeah, if you want to watch the rest of see how the other two lobbies got along, they were cracking races. Definitely go and check them out. They're also up on our YouTube channel. They would have gone up at the same time as this one. So definitely go and check those races out. They were action-packed. Myself and Chris bringing you all the commentary for the action on those ones. Slowdown penalty for Maguki. Stiffy Bone, he is catching him. Still a fair gap. Maguki might have to make a mistake for him to be caught, but everyone now has just really started to spread out and find their own ground. So here we go. Maguki, he's going to come in again. He must have damage after that turn 1 incident. He must have damage, so he's coming in and he's going to find himself. Stiffy Bone's going to grab him. I don't think Xtana will get him. It might be close. Here we go. We're going to see what happens here. Tyres going on. He might be putting on the soft tyres because he's used the hard tyres. So he's changing tyres. Yeah, he's going back to soft tyres. So did have the hard tyre, and for some reason has decided he's going to come in, change tyres again, and move to the soft tyre. So I'm not entirely sure what the reasoning behind that was. We'll have to try and find out. But yeah, decided to come in and switch to that soft tyre, which will give him the pace that he needs, and obviously gets that mandatory hard tyre out of the way, but it does mean that he's now down in 4th and on his own yet again. If he makes a mistake, he will fall in the clutches of Xtana. But everyone's sort of spread out. Porsche GTR leader. He's been faultless all race. Absolutely brilliant driving from him. Just nice, clean running out on his own. Not really anyone for him to battle with today. Just out the front on his own, running his own race. So beautiful from him. But yeah, just some solid, consistent and quiet racing here in Lobby C. Lovely exit through turn 2 there. Not a lot to break down. There is a fair gap between all the cars now, so not a lot of action to report on. 2 more laps to go here. Fastest lap of the race currently sits with Alba on a 40... what is that? 48.8, so very quick lap. Definitely up there in terms of pace. We've seen some of the lobby, most of the lobby B guys doing 48s, some of the lobby A guys doing 47s, but 48.8 is definitely a quick lap time. So here we go, cutting on to the final lap now. Not a lot happened in the last lap that we had. Everyone's sort of spread out, and yeah, it's just some quiet, just a fairly quiet, uneventful race. And I mean, uneventful is good for the drivers because it means that they all stay out of trouble and everyone just sort of runs their own race. But you know, not great for us commentators. We want something to talk about, some action to commentate on. And this man today, he's driven a brilliant race, kept his head down, been clean, been consistent. He had a few dramas last week with guys in Lobby B, but he's put his head down today and showed that he has the talent to be fighting it at the top. Porsche GT, he's going to come across the line, clean sweep of the weekend, pole and the win, led every lap as well, so brilliant from him. Alba, he's going to come out of the final corner and cross the line to come second in this one. Brilliant result for him. Stiffy Bone, after the wheel disconnect last week, he was very frustrated. Not an ideal result for him with that wheel disconnecting, but he's kept his head down today, driven a brilliant race as well, and finds himself in third place. He's going to cross the line to come home third in this one. Maguki could have had a third place if he hadn't come in for the soft tyres at the end of that one, but chose to come in, and there we go, across the line in third. X-Tanner, after starting from 8th, after not qualifying, comes home in 5th. BC Bonds, your lobby host for this week, he was kind enough to step in for Mike Honcho, who was away this week. Will find himself coming home in 6th. So still a good result for him in the Aston Martin. And Macon Bacon, the West Tiger supporter, he will come home 7th, at the end of this one. So the results now for the race. So Porsche GT comes home for the win in this one. Albert 2nd, Stiffy Bone 3rd, Maguki 4th, X-Tanner 5th, BC Bond in 6th, Macon Bacon 7th, and B McKever 8th. Unfortunately a DNF for him, and Unchained Chief a DNF for him as well. Disconnects for both those guys. In terms of my driver of the day, I've got to give this one to Stiffy Bone. I know, heartbreak for him last week, such a difficult race, and finishing down the back after a wheel disconnect at turn 1 unfortunately meant that it took him a while to get going again, but he kept his head clean this week, and he qualified 6th and came home in 3rd, so a brilliant result for him. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure you go and check out the other lobby races. They were crackers. We're so excited for the Nurburgring next week. It's a wet race, so there's going to be plenty of action going down across all lobbies. We can't wait to bring you all the action right here on the AGT YouTube channel. Until then, stay safe, and I've been Isaac. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.